For centuries, Lunenburg, Nova Scotia has had a strong affinity with the sea. During the age of wooden ships and iron men, this community forged a reputation as a seafaring and shipbuilding town. In fact, Canada's most famous tall ship, the Bluenose, and its replica, the Bluenose II, were built by Lunenburg craftsmen. Well, some of those men are still around, still plying their trade, like the man we're about to meet. He's a third-generation marine blacksmith. Vernon Walters is a creature of habit. For the last 52 years, he's followed the same path to work. From his home, he doesn't have far to go, just down the hill on Montague Street in the heart of Lunenburg. This blacksmith shop has been in the family since Grandfather Walters built it in 1876. Vernon's father practiced his trade here too. Vernon inherited the shop and the family trade from his father 35 years ago. He spends his days working over a coal fire, heating rods of iron. These he forges into fittings for fishing boats and wooden sailing ships. At 68, this man is one of the last marine blacksmiths in all of North America. What do you have to be a good blacksmith?
Well, my grandfather was a blacksmith. My father was a son. He possibly felt the same as I did. He wanted to do what his father did. So when he became a certain age, he came into the shop under his father, just as I did. It's as I said, you grow up with it. You grow up with the business. I think you have to be born to be a blacksmith. This is all I saw in my lifetime, all I heard in my lifetime. I heard nothing but blacksmithing. I played in here. I came down here every chance I got. And it was when I saw my father make something, it was a challenge to me. I thought, you know, someday I'm going to do what he's doing.
Vernon was born into the right family at the right time. When he was growing up in the smithy, wooden schooners and dories were the mainstay of Lunenburg shipyards. The Walters men made the anchors and all the iron fittings.
The sparks were flying, the air was ringing. My father was turning out maybe 3,000 anchors a year. So you see, they were busy people.
In the early 20s, Vernon's father forged the iron for one of the finest wooden sailing ships ever built, the original Bluenose.
I was on it when it went out on charter cruises out of the harbor. A beautiful vessel.
By the time he was 16, Vernon was hooked on being a marine blacksmith. So he left school to apprentice with his father in the forge.
In the 18 years I worked with him, he never gave me a direct order. He never said, I want you to do it like this. He would do something and let me watch him. He knew I was watching. That's the way I learned.
When did he finally hand over the reins?
In 1958. He passed away, and I didn't think I was ready. Oh, no, I was scared stiff. But I just stepped in behind his anvil over there and took over.
For the next few years, Vernon was kept busy in the forge. The marine blacksmith business was thriving in Lunenburg, and then the inevitable happened. The age of wooden ships passed away.
Now, when steel came in, the blacksmith had less to do. They didn't require as many fittings and so on. So I often thought, it's over, it's all over.
But Vernon hadn't counted on the age of replica ships.
The HMS Bounty came along. Then the HMS Rose came along. Then the Bluenose came along. This gave me a good boost. I did all the ironwork for the Blue Nose,
All
too.
of it?
All of it, yes. I felt that the Blue Nose, too, was done just as my father or grandfather would have done it.
When you stand out looking at Blue Nose 2, sitting there in the water, and you know that all that blacksmithing is yours, how does that feel?
Makes you feel real good. You put something there that stayed, because they've replaced the planks, the keel, they've rebuilt that vessel all around my ironwork. But they never replaced any ironwork. The ironwork holds the mass, holds the ship together. Depends on that ironwork, doesn't it?
You say that the ironwork holds the ship together?
Sure, sure.
So no wonder the feeling you must have looking at the Blue Nose 2.
Well, my first love being schooner work, I always say to myself, would I ever get a chance to do another one?
Blue Nose 3's coming.
And I'm getting older, but I believe I would try it. I believe I would like to try it.
If Vernon's wish comes true, he will no doubt leave his mark on Blue Nose 3. But in the meantime, there's another important matter on his mind.
I would like to see somebody take over this shop and keep the anvil ringing. Then I could leave it and say, I've placed it in good hands. It still is alive. But you know, until I find that person, I think this is where I'm going to finish my days.
When that day comes and Vernon Walters hangs up his apron for the last time, it will mark the end of a grand old era, 3 generations of marine blacksmiths.